The European Union spoke highly of the initiatives on democratization and development of the multi-party political system in Kazakhstan, which was mentioned in the State of the Nation address given by the president of the country, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev. Head of the European Parliament delegation for relations with Central Asian countries, Fulvio Martuscello, said that Kazakhstan is a central element in partnership with the EU and the region. The EU appreciates the evolution that is taking place in this area, and we are very pleased with the process of democratization and respect for human rights in the country. The EU should continue to invest in Kazakhstan as a leading country with great opportunities, and as the head of the European Parliament delegation for relations with the regional countries and Kazakhstan, I will try to be the guarantor of these relations and investments. President of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, has instructed to temporarily eliminate tax on small and medium-sized enterprises for 3 years. The move will encourage entrepreneurs to further develop their businesses, experts opined. The initiatives of the president on exemptions from tax and auditing will be very relevant to the growth of the new entrepreneurs.
Основной налог, который отменится, скорее всего, будет касаться это индивидуальных предпринимателей.
The main tax which will be exempted will most likely be related to individual entrepreneurs. The 3% tax which the individual entrepreneur is paying based on a simplified model will be exempted. People who work with patents pay the 1% to 2% tax. In the upcoming 3 years, I think that the number of the individual entrepreneurs will remain at the same level, but there will be a quality shift. After 3 years, we will have a competitive population of 1.2 million people.
Конкурентоспособную аудиторию в количестве там 1–1,200,000 человек.
Entrepreneurship is the key to a thriving economy of any country. Thus, the share of SMEs in GDP of a number of developed countries reaches 80%. Meanwhile, experts highlighted that business is a competition as well. Business people should prove that they are the best by producing high quality and affordable goods in order to have a successful business. For instance, an enterprise that produces baby diapers was opened in Kaskelen. Russia, Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan quickly purchased their products. This shows that they produce the diapers that are in demand due to its high quality and affordable price. Analysts pointed out that increasing the state order, conducting large-scale work in covering needs of the local market, expanding volumes and non-clementure of goods for import substitution can contribute to the development of the SME sector. Profitable conditions such as privileges, preferences, infrastructure, financial support and multi-dimensional cooperation for investors and entrepreneurs willing to invest and work in Kazakhstan's capital are being offered. These conditions are also offered in special economic zones. Entrepreneurs are both supported and accompanied starting from the idea stage until the realization of a project. For example, the laboratory of genetics as a result of such support. Predisposition to untreatable diseases will be conducted there. Foreign investors supported the project by investing nearly $3 million.
Biz қазір кардиохирургиялық орталықпен байланыс жасап, о кісілермен
We are negotiating with the Cardiac Surgery Center. We plan to conduct laboratory tests for drugs that were prescribed to patients after heart operation. Following that, we also plan to publish and share the result of the laboratory tests. We are currently conducting the works. This domestic company is involved in the production of unique unmanned aerial vehicles, and the company is going to join the list of special economic zone participants. Thus, the company's representatives expect that on top of privileges and tax preferences, they can expand their production line and find new sales markets.
На сегодняшний день вообще в мировой практике
To date, global experience shows that services of unmanned aerial vehicles are worth nearly $6 billion. Based on forecasts, the UAVs will be estimated at $65 billion in 25 years. This is such a great shift. There is huge potential to work in this area, not only in the world, but in entire Kazakhstan as well.
Большой и огромный потенциал работы не только в мире, но и в целом в Казахстане.
Analysts said that the volume of investments coming into the economy of the city are increasing, while the export potential is being realized due to these special economic zones. Large chemical manufacturers in Kazakhstan are increasing competitiveness in the global market. A mineral fertilizer factory in Taraz increased its production capacity following a large-scale reconstruction of the facility. The production output was increased from 300,000 tons to 500,000 tons per year. Only one person controls all of the operations. Previously, we produced 900 tons of products per day, and now it is increased to 1,300 tons per day. Currently, the products made at the factory are holding the leading position in local and foreign markets. The quality of the mineral fertilizers adheres to international standards. The products are exported to 33 countries. Among the first buyers are the United States and Russia. Negotiations are ongoing to Japan. The factory has produced more than 50% of mineral fertilizers from the planned volumes this year. This is a good result, and we will continue it. We constantly introduce new technologies in order to compete with other companies. If for 7 months of 2018 our export volume was 30%, this year for the same period we have already reached 72%. The enterprise plans to produce up to 1 million tons of mineral fertilizers per year until 2022. A new amorphous fertilizer factory will also be built. The agricultural sector is expected to grow at 4.5 times by 2030 due to the increase of irrigated land to 3 million hectares, which is carried out in stages. The forecast was announced by Kassym-Jomart Tokayev in his State of the Nation address. The area of irrigated land in Kizilorda region is planned to be increased to 300,000 hectares by 2022.
300,000 гектарға жеткізу үшін біз жаңадан 96,000 гектар.
In order to increase the irrigated land to 300,000 hectares, we are introducing 96,000 hectares of new land for the said purpose. We will make new canals to these new lands, use drip irrigation, groundwater, and reuse the water from collectors. Experts have found new solutions in order to be less dependent on the water level of the Sirdarya River. Based on their plan, the sown area of rice, which is the main agricultural crop in the region, will not be reduced by increasing the potential of crop rotation. In this case, preference should be given to low-cost crops such as safflower, wheat, sweet clover, soybean, and sorghum.
Бұлар топырақтағы тұзды өзіне сіңіреді, әрі ол тұзды жерге.
These plants are resistant to salty soil, so that they absorb soil salt and restore the soil. In the second year, they are called phytomeliorative plants. They improve the structure and fertility of the soil, enrich it with nitrogen, and reduce the growth of weeds, as well as change the bioorganic state of the earth.
Яғни ол жердің биоорганикалық құрамын өзгертіп, қарашірінділер көбейіп, топырақтың құнарлығы артады.
The cleaning irrigated canals and the reconstructing hydraulic structures will be made in the region in stages. A systematic plan for the restoration of degraded or unused lands is also developed.
Сыр елі бойынша қазір сол 3 жобаны іске асқан кезде 187,000 гектар жер қайтадан қалпына келтіріліп.
During the implementation of projects, 187,000 hectares of land will be restored. For these purposes, the World and Asian Development Banks will allocate about 164 billion tenge. The implementation of the program will give the opportunity to develop agriculture in the region by 30 to 40% and save water by 25 to 30%.
Біріншіден 30-40%-ке дейін дамуына оң әсерін тигізсе, екінші мына 25-30%-ке де суды үнемдеуге болады.
A number of measures have been developed to increase the area of irrigated land in Kizilorda region, based on the President's State of the Nation address. One of the measures includes the construction of 2 reservoirs at the Sirdarya River. The reservoirs will provide 110,000 hectares of irrigated land in the region during the dry growing season. For the first time, a special treat like an ice cream made from goat milk has started to be produced in the Atyrau region. This is the 16th product that is manufactured in a local farm. The farm has arranged the supply of its ice cream in all the neighboring regions. The special product can also be found in Russia. The ice cream contains milk, whipped cream, sugar, and vanilla. All of these are natural products. The whole goat milk gives a sophisticated sweet taste. The producers are proud not only for their ice cream, they also produce diverse products such as several types of cheese and sour cream, milk and buttermilk, cottage cheese and yogurt, as well as whey and kurd. Goats are curious by nature. You see them walking around and just in one moment they can eat the thing that comes in their way. That is why you got to keep your eye on them. Goat milk is highly nutritious. In many ways, it is very similar to the breast milk. It is considered to remove radionuclides from the body and cure inflammation. The farm's products are sent to hospitals and kindergartens. High quality allowed the farm to occupy its niche in the market by displacing imported products from the goat milk. Cotton is one of the most famous agricultural crops in Tajikistan. Mass collection of raw cotton has started in the country. The harvest is expected to be good this year, so farmers have a lot of work to do. There is a lot of cotton in the field, therefore work is happening fast. Then everything depends on you. If you are not lazy, you can make a lot of money. 7 farms are involved in cotton industry in Yavan district. Fine fiber varieties such as Hujan 67, Chinese and flesh are planted in the fields. Box fruit trees ripe unevenly. Therefore, it is impossible to harvest the trees using equipment, but only by hand. We plan to collect the entire harvest, which is 25,000 tons of cotton, in 2 months. 124 tons of cotton is delivered for processing every day. Dozens of cars take raw cotton from the fields and deliver to the processing daily. The cotton undergoes double cleaning process. It is then pressed into briquettes and delivered to local enterprises. Half of the harvest is exported to Iran, Russia and Turkey. Uzbekistan is becoming a new destination of growth for the international tourist traffic. More than 3 million tourists from all around the world have visited the republic this year. Moreover, the number of people who plan to travel from Tashkent to Khiva is increasing every year. This almond is called a paper since it can be broken very easily. This is very tasty. I can cook for you. I'm happy to do it for the guests. Tourists visit the oldest Siap Bazaar in Samarkand. Flavor of eastern spice and odor of ripened melons are very appetizing. This is all located with the background of Tamerlan Mosque. The tourist route to Uzbekistan starts here. Ancient Bukhara is a must-visit destination when traveling to Uzbekistan. Craftswomen work on these complicated patterns for several months. Hundreds of items are created for the tourist season, which starts in September. People should visit Bukhara to feel the true spirit of the East by strolling in the streets and trying the Bukhara cuisine. The town remains a center of Asia, which once was named a Dome of Islam. People arrive here to learn calligraphy that was written on buildings of the ancient town. Quotes from Quran, family names of rulers and important dates can be found in the patterns of the building. Tourists don't miss this forge of the ancient town. Shakir Kamalov smelts the most resistant knives even at 73. 5 generations of his family were involved in this occupation. Hours of hard work are necessary to turn layers of metals into the Damascus steel. If someone enters my workshop, he or she goes out with something. I have to make sure that someone buys my works. Uzbekistan is called an open-air museum. One of the oldest Buddhist temples is located near Termes. A new find this year is a city built by Alexander the Great. Historians called the finding as an archaeological sensation. The place also attracts tourists. The prohibition of saksau felling has led to the increase in plantations as well as conversion of part of dried land in Kizilorda region. The ban has been enforced since 2015. Currently, there are 7 million hectares of state forest reserve area. Saksau trees are grown in 3 of the total area. Over the years of the prohibition, the areas of the reserved forests have been increased as well as the territories of private lands and rural districts. Experts and local residents said that the decision to extend the ban on saksau felling for another 5 years was correct.
табиғатқа бұл пайдасы ең біріншінде бұл ғылыми зерттеген
The
нәрсе.
environmental benefits to the nature are huge. It is scientifically proven that one saksao tree holds 10 square meters of sand. In the Joly district, we plant saksao seeds every year on 900 hectares, as well as seedlings on 300 hectares. Almost half of them grow well, which is great for us. In addition, I emphasized that the saksao areas which grew naturally has sharply increased in the district.
Мекендерді отындық мақсатта жаңағы қамтамасыз етуге.
Kazakhstan's capital hosted the preview screening of the Kalamger feature film. The movie was filmed by Khabar Agency with support of the Kazakh Ministry of Information and Social Development. The idea was implemented as part of the modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program and the 7 facets of the Great Step article. The film is dedicated to lives and works of writers and poets of the 1970s and 1980s. The narrative carries spectators to Almaty of those years. Archival footage of the capital of Kazakh Soviet Socialist Republic makes film especially engaging.
История развивается в стенах.
The story takes place in the famous cafe Kalamger, where well-known workers of culture, art and literature used to gather on weekends and discuss the global issues of society, as well as the main problems of Kazakhs and Kazakh literature. Unfortunately, there were a lot of bans and censorship back in Soviet time. People didn't always have the opportunity to discuss up-to-date topics and literature trends of Kazakh literature in open platforms.
Какие-то актуальные вопросы, тренды литературы казахской нации.
Қазақтың сол кездегі тарихи санасын көтеруге атсалысқан жазушылардың күрескерлік еңбегі, олардың цензураның қыспағаны.
A number of writers of that time significantly contributed to development of Kazakh literature. Despite extreme Soviet censorship, Ilyas Yesenberlin's Nomads and Oljas Süleymanov's Asia were published.
Басынан көрген. Тіпті анау Мәскеудің өзі соларға шүйлігіп, цензураға қыспаққа қысып жататын. Сондай бір шытырман оқиғалар осы туындыға арқау болды.
The film premieres at cinema theaters of Kazakhstan on September 12th. The film will air on Khabar TV this December. Moreover, the agency plans to shoot a TV series of the project.
Famous opera singer and honored artist of Kazakhstan, Jannat Baktay, will present a Jannat Baktay Invites solo program on the Grand Opera stage of the country. The creative evening of the opera singer is dedicated to the 30th anniversary of her career on stage. The famous soprano will be accompanied by the choir and the Astana Opera Symphony Orchestra. Honored worker of Kazakhstan, Temirjan Yerjanov and Abzal Muhiddinov will be the conductors. The evening program will also present the performance of the new opera Moscow Theater's soloists Yaroslav Abaymov, as well as Medet Chotabayev, Sundet Baygozhin and Azamat Jeltirguzov.
Мы постарались собрать в этом концерте, это достаточно большой концерт, разнообразную программу, будут большие...
We tried to collect a diverse program in this concert, which is quite large. It includes big performances from different operas and operettas. There will be a small piano concert, a concert piece that I will play. There will also be different types of ensembles with soloists whom she invited. On the one hand, this is a traditional event, while on the other hand, it is a rather unusual opera gala concert.
Это такой, с одной стороны, традиционный, с другой стороны, довольно необычный оперный гала-концерт.
Ethno-villages provide opportunities to learn history, traditions and customs, as well as to feel like a real nomad and embrace the atmosphere of the past centuries. The opportunities are provided by Ethno-Aul, or Natural Cultural Complex, for residents and travelers, which are built in Central Asian region. Due to these Ethno-Auls, visitors can experience the lifestyle and civilization of nomads. As part of the modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program, Ethno-Auls are built in 22 villages in Joly district in Kizilorda region. These ethno-complexes showcase the cooking process of national cuisines, exhibitions of craftspeople, as well as performances of creative bands. Experts said that the ethno-owl events could help preserve the original culture.
Биыл жастардың жылы ғой, елбасының жастар жылы деп атауына байланысты
During the
әсіресе
Year of Youth this year, the functions of an ethno-village are of great importance in order to educate the younger generation in our region. These events can revive and develop the ancient customs and traditions as well as forgotten musical culture and national arts and crafts.
біз үлкен осы дүние болды деп есептейміз.